Hello guys, this is editor Hellgas02 for the channel Ruli01. I just want to give an apology for the lack of uploads to the channel. Now, it's not the creator's fault. It's not like he's not recording these videos. The fault mainly goes towards me. I just had so much workload these past few months, no breaks, non-stop, and when my days off do come, I just kind of want to lay back, relax, and it kind of piles up this workload. Unfortunately, this video that I recorded was 51 minutes long, and in order to give myself some time to provide at least one upload, I had to split the chapter in half. So in reality, this video was supposed to be part 7 all entirely, but just so I could make it easier, this is part 7 and 8 combined into 2. So, again, I'm sorry for the lack of uploads to the channel. I'll try to be more of a better person when it comes to this channel. Because in the end, this is my brother's thing, and I kind of want to make this happen for him. So, it's not his fault. It's more on me. I'll do better. Anyways, I hope you guys do enjoy part 8 of this series. I actually enjoy a lot of it. Editing it down, it's really fun for me. But yes, I hope you guys enjoy it.
Second round of the tournament is about to begin. Next match, Izuku Midoriya vs. Shota Todoroki. Izuku just said bye to Uraraka, and she went back to where Class 1A was sitting. On his way to the ring, he encountered someone he didn't really want to meet. Endeavor was waiting near the entrance of the arena. Izuku tried to ignore him and walk past. Endeavor spoke. Do your best to draw out Shota's fire. What was that? Izuku responded telepathically. Endeavor was confused by hearing a voice in head, but he just thought it was Izuku's quirk. Like I said, I want you to do your best to draw out Shota's fire. Only then can he truly be ready to defeat All Might. Izuku was just infuriated. He's not a weapon. He's a human being with thoughts and feelings. Endeavor scoffed. You understand nothing, boy. You had no idea the sacrifices I had to make to ensure that Shota would be the strongest. All the time and effort I took to get him where he is now, but he's squandering his potential by refusing to use his fire. Izuku got even more enraged that it was boiling over. Hopefully, facing you will get him to realize that he's nothing without me and stop this pathetic rebellion. And with that, Izuku had enough. He used his telekinesis and started choking the life out of Endeavor. Number 2 tried to struggle, but there's nothing he could do. Izuku was enraged. I have met people like you all my life. People that just take and do not care what happens to the people around them. I will make sure that you get what you deserve and that you're punished for what you did to Todoroki. As Endeavor was losing consciousness, his flames died out, and Izuku let him go and walked towards the arena. Midnight signaled, and the match started. Izuku used his telepathy to inform Todoroki what happened to Endeavor. Todoroki was smiling, hearing that his dad got choked out by the one person he considered his best friend. So what are you going to do now? Izuku asked. Todoroki was confused. What do you mean? I mean about using your fire side. Todoroki wasn't sure about it. He used to like his fire, but after he got a scar, his feelings changed. It's your quirk, Todoroki, not his. You decide what to do with it. With those words, it lit a spark inside Todoroki, and he ignited his flame. Thank you, Midoriya. And Izuku just nodded and powered up. Whoa! Mike said in the stands. Was not expecting this. Todoroki's using his fire side. Up until now, he's only used his ice. What could have caused this sudden change? Aizawa responded. If I had to guess, it has to be Midoriya. He manages to inspire the others. Not to mention, he's a good leader. Maybe Midoriya convinced Todoroki that he's wasting his potential only using half of his quirk. The fight began, and Todoroki launched a fireball at Izuku, which he dodged using full cowling. Izuku kept trying to get close, minimizing the distance, but Todoroki kept him away with his fire and ice. Izuku tries to catch Todoroki off guard by attacking and switching from each side, making it harder for Todoroki to react. Izuku gets close, but one of his legs gets caught in the ice, and then Todoroki uses his flames. Deku uses 30% to break out of the ice and jump away. His uniform did catch fire, but he simply just patted himself down. Wow, this match is so exciting. These two are giving it their all for the audience. Who's going to win? It's anyone's guess, Mike said in the stands. Todoroki then said something. I think it's about time we finish this. Izuku nodded in agreement. Todoroki prepared his absolute zero attack. Izuku just charged up his fist with 40% wealth for all and dashed towards them with a smash. Both attacks collided, and Cementos put up barriers to protect the audience. After the shockwave was over, they saw Todoroki out of bounds and Midoriya standing in the middle of the ring, surrounded by smoke. Midnight declared Izuku the winner, and the crowd began to cheer. But then the cheers suddenly died down. Izuku didn't know why, but the crowd was looking at him differently. He looked at Midnight, and she covered her mouth with shock. Izuku then looked down and realized his shirt was gone, and all of his scars were showing. Everything Armakam did to him was in full display for all to see. Izuku could sense everyone staring. Izuku heard everyone's thoughts, all the negative emotions, all the fear, all the doubt, all the disgust. He couldn't handle it. He used his slow-mo plus full cowling and just disappeared from the arena. Izuku went to the break room where he sat in the corner. It's like he did all those times after Armakam was done experimenting when he got back to his cell. Back in the arena, the crowd was asking lots of questions about what they saw. How could the child get those scars? Was it the parents? Was it self-inflicted? What happened to him? Uraraka and Class 1A left to go find Izuku. He shouldn't be left alone right now, they thought. Izuku's family was also worried about them. They knew what happened to Izuku, and the scars were a constant reminder of what Armakam did to him. Inko was just crying while Hisashi was comforting her. Inko was bawling her eyes out. He's going to drive people away. They might even avoid him. He's suffered enough, Hisashi responded. Izuku is strong. He'll get through this. Remember, he has people to care for him. His grandfather also chimed in. Hisashi is correct. The boy will get through this. Inko stopped her crying. They were right. Izuku wasn't alone anymore. He has people that love and care for him. They will help him get through this. Class 1A was able to find Izuku thanks to the help of Shiro and Shoji. Shiro heard on the other side of the door, and she told the class, he's inside, and he's crying. Class was very depressed about what happened to Izuku. The guys knew about his scars from the first day, so did Uraraka, but it came to the shock to the other girls. Mina asked, what happened to Izuku? All those scars? Uraraka didn't have an answer. Tsuyu then responded. I don't think it's our business to pry. If Izuku wanted us to know, he would have told us. We should respect his privacy. Momo also chimed in. Sue is right. It's Midoriya's business. But the problem is that everyone saw it. So did the people all over the world. Toru then said. Yeah, things are going to be difficult for Midoriya. People will be looking at him differently. He might even want to be left alone. Shiro then chimed in as well. How can we help him? Class was unsure to proceed. Ida spoke up. Her and Midoriya are in a relationship. She knows him better than anyone. Everyone turned to Raka, and she nodded. She went in and saw Izuku crying in the corner, facing the wall. Izuku, are you okay? Responded. Please go away. I want to be left alone. Uruka got closer to Izuku. She knelt down and placed Izuku's head on her lap and stroked his hair. Remember, Izuku, I love you, and I promise to stay by your side. So don't pushed me away. Izuku grabbed Uraraka's hand. Uraraka, I'm afraid people will reject me when they found out what I truly am. If other people reject you, you'll still have me, no matter what. Are you sure? Even if my hands are stained with blood, they will never wash away. This unsettled her, but she didn't want to abandon him. Yes, even if you have blood on your hands, I'll still be with you. Izuku kisses her hand. I really didn't deserve you. I don't deserve any happiness. Uraraka had enough. Izuku's self-love. She forced Izuku to look up at her. He could see tears in her eyes as they fell down onto his face. It's my choice if I think I deserve you. Don't that don't take that choice away from me. Don't abandon me. He hates seeing her like this. He got up and kissed her on the lips. I hope I can live up to your expectations. She just smiled. You already have. The two got up and exited the room. Right outside the door was Juro with a red face, but also the rest of her friends. Juro, were you listening to our conversation? She tried to deny it, but in the end she confessed. Yes, I was listening, but I only did it to make sure you two were okay. We're all worried. The whole class agreed. Thanks for worrying about me, guys. I appreciate it. But, Momo, can you make me a shirt? Momo made him a simple black shirt, and he put it on. We should probably go back. The crowd must be wondering what happened. They all headed back to their seats. When they arrived, all eyes were on Izuku. He ignored them and just focused on the matches. The next match was about to start. F.E.A.R versus Ida. Ida wins. Next match was Mina versus Momo. Momo wins. Last match of the second round was Kirishima versus Baku. Bakugo wins. The third round is now beginning, and the first match is Izuku versus Ida. Izuku and Ida enter a ring. All eyes are on them, but many in the crowd are still discussing Izuku and the scars. Midnight signals the match begins. Ida uses reciprocal burst and charges straight at Izuku. Izuku just reacted by using his slow-mo to flip Ida on his back and then knocked him out. Izuku is declared the winner. The next match is Momo versus Bakugo. Momo puts up a good fight against Bakugo, but her creation Kirk burns through too many of her fat lipids that she is unable to continue fighting, so Bakugo wins. The final match would be Izuku versus Bakugo. The contestants were given a break so they could recover their stamina. Izuku and the rest of the class visit Todoroki in the nurse's office. Izuku asked, Hey, are you feeling better? Todoroki responded, Yeah, I'm fine. My injuries are all healed. Just have a mild concussion. Sorry about that. Izuku apologized. Todoroki just shook his head. I should apologize. Because of me, people saw your scars. Izuku tensed up at that, but went back to normal. It's fine. People know about it already. There's nothing I can do about it. Everyone was a little nervous when Todoroki mentioned it, but they were glad Izuku was over it. Mina decided to ask the question. Izuku, will you tell us about the scars and how you got them? Everyone had a look of shock on their faces. How could she just ask that? Momo yelled at Mina. Mina, that's so inconsiderate of Izuku's feeling. Tsuyu chimed in. Yeah, he just barely got over it. Now you're asking him about it? Mina's head sank. She was being a jerk and she didn't consider Izuku's feelings. Mina apologized. I'm sorry I asked Izuku. I just thought you were ready to share. Izuku was trying not to let his emotions show. His hand was clenched. Then Uraraka put her hand on his and gave him a look and a smile that meant it was going to be okay. Izuku relaxed and answered, I'm sorry, but I'm not ready to talk about it yet. I hope you understand. Everyone reassured Izuku that they understood. They didn't want to push the topic and it made him uncomfortable. Todoroki decided to change the topic. Izuku, the Hero Association just arrested Endeavor, and he's under investigation because of some allegations. Izuku knew what he meant. If you need a place to stay till this blows over, you're welcome to stay in my house. Todoroki accepted the offer, and they both fist bump. Now it was time for this final sports festival. Izuku and Baku were on the opposite sides of the ring, staring each other down. Midnight signals, and the match begins. Bakugo started by launching a barrage of explosions towards Izuku. Izuku just dodged them, but was trying not to use the psionic ability. He was still angry at what Bakugo did to Uraraka, and he was feeling negative emotions with the crowd, so if he loses control, he might do something he might regret. What an explosive start to this match. Both of these students are so strong. Who will win? The silent warrior or the explosive blonde? The fight went on, and Izuku tried to use full Kallen to get close, but Bakugo kept using bigger explosion, leaving no openings. Izuku used air pressure attacks, but Izuku just used his explosions to counter him. Izuku powered up to 40%, trying to get close as he could and finish the match. He got close, but then a light illuminated from Bakugo's body, then a giant explosion knocked Izuku away, landing him near the edge of the ring. Izuku was bleeding and is covered in many wounds. He was healing, but his body was badly injured, both externally and internally. Ha ha ha, Bakugo laughed. Like that, you bastard? I call it a bomb vest. I let out an explosion all over my body, meaning you can't get close without hurting yourself. Wow, such an impressive attack. It's going to be difficult for Izuku to get around that. Aizawa chimed in. It is an impressive attack, but I wouldn't count Midori out just yet. Bakugo kept blasting Izuku, not giving him time to recover. Izuku was moving slower because of his injuries, and Bakugo noticed this and piled on the pressure. Bakugo lures Izuku to one of the corners of the ring and fires a giant explosion like he used against Uraraka. Izuku was cornered. He only had one way to dodge, but this would leave him vulnerable. Izuku jumped over the explosion and was in the middle of the air heading towards Bakugo. Bakugo planned for this and brought up his hand for another giant explosion. Izuku noticed this and powers up to 50% and throws a smash. Both attacks meet, and Izuku's punch made a hole through the explosion, hitting Bakugo in the chest. But the explosion engulfed Izuku. He was in intense pain. All over his body, his skin was being ripped off, and he closed his eyes to protect his eyes, but one of his eyelids was damaged, causing him to turn blind. Both students were on the ground. Bakugo was coughing up blood and gasping for air. Most of his ribs were broken, and he probably had a collapsed lung. While Izuku looked like hell. Half of his skull was exposed. One of his eyes was pure white. His right forearm and chest were badly injured. You can see muscle, tendons, bones, and some of his organs. The rest of his body had burns and patches of skin missing. This doesn't look good. Bakugo is awake, but Midoriya seems unresponsive. Aizawa yelled, "Get recovery girl, ASAP!" Midnight went to check on the students. Bakugo was conscious, but cursing in pain and spitting out blood, while Izuku, on the other hand, was unresponsive, but he was still breathing. His heartbeat was weak, but he was still alive. In the crowd, Izuku's loved ones were worried for his safety. Inko was crying her eyes out, seeing her baby boy in such a state. Hisashi held her and turned her away. Uraraka was bawling her eyes out. She wanted to jump down there and be by Izuku's side, but the girls held her back. Midnight was about to call the match when suddenly a black and red aura enveloped Izuku's body, and he started to hover. One of his eyes was still closed, while the other you can see just a pure white sphere. He slowly made his way toward Baku, who looked up in pure horror. Izuku just extended his hand and lifted Bakugo up in the air with telekinesis. "Oh, are you still alive?" Izuku didn't respond. He just put his finger towards Bakugo's head and he started screaming, but not in pain, but out of fear. Alma was using her connection with Izuku to keep him alive. She was angry with Bakugo, what she did to her son. So she goes into Bakugo's mind and makes him experience his worst nightmare. By the end of it, Bakugo was unconscious and dropped to the floor. Everyone was terrified of what they saw. Izuku snapped out of the trance and landed on his hands and knees. He was there for a few minutes as his body healed, the missing skin and skull repaired. He then slowly stood up and looked at Midnight. Can you call the match? I. Bakugo is unconscious. He needs medical. Midnight went and checked on Bakugo, and he was indeed unconscious, so she called the match. Izuku Midoriya is the winner! The crowd was unsure of how they should feel, whether they should cheer, and what they just witnessed was very terrifying. Some applauded, but it just sounded depressing. Izuku just walked back to the entrance. To his surprise, Uraraka jumped down from the stand. He ran up to him and into his arms. She was crying. You idiot! You had me worried! Izuku then held her close and apologized. I'm sorry for putting you through that. Later, after all the commotion died down, they had the award ceremony. All Might handed out the medals. Izuku received first, Bakugo second, and Momo third. Bakugo had to be tied down because he kept screaming like crazy about seeing monsters. Ida received a call that something happened to his brother, so he left. With that, the sports festival's fight would be over. But over in America, a certain man was looking at the footage of the sports festival. Harlan. So it is you, Prototype 1. I'm so glad he's alive. And he has some new abilities. I can't wait to see how we can use them. An employee answered. Sir, the capture team has been sent out. It will arrive in Japan in a week. How does our partner in Japan have a plan for capturing Prototype 1? Employee answered. Yes, he plans to capture Prototype 1 in an isolated area, where he won't receive any help from the heroes. Harlan just smiled. Did they also agree to provide us with more test subjects, as we requested? The employee nodded. Yes, they have, as long as we provided what was promised. Harlan smiled even more. Excellent. We can use Prototype 1 to capture Prototype 2, and then Project Godfall can commence.
Hope you guys enjoyed today's What If. Again, I'm sorry for the lack of uploads to this channel. I'll try and be better when it comes to editing his videos to send them out on time. And again, this video originally was 53 minutes long. I had to take a double take to see how long it was. But yes, unfortunately, this will be the last What If of the year 2024, but more What Ifs and the continuation of this one to come in 2025. But I hope you guys have a good Christmas, if you guys celebrate it, New Year's, Hanukkah, all the holidays in between. And yeah, expect more to come soon. Goodbye.